Thanks everybody for tuning in to Better Than Yesterday. Oliver Saunders, myself, Adam Churchman. We are really excited for today. It's going to be a little bit of a change from what a lot of our episodes are like, the regular format. Today we've got a special guest coming in, and we're really excited to chop it up with our homie Santana. I've met Santana back in 2019. Eliza, myself, and Santana worked together for a period of time. She went down to LA, COVID hit, and sort of the world stopped, and we fell out of touch a little bit, but been following along on her journey. And it is going to, I think, resonate with a lot of people. I think it's going to provide hope for a lot of people, and we're just really excited to get into it. So Santana, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited just to share tidbits of my story. And we're going to obviously go in all sorts of avenues and directions. But yeah, this is the year of me sharing. I feel like I was a little bit timid about really opening up parts of my heart. But this past 12 months, I challenged myself. I did 75 hard. Honestly, Adam, when you did that, you and 2 or 3 other people that I am following did 75 hard. And I just watched how it transformed each one of you in the space of sharing and inspiring and just really crushing your dreams. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I need to do this. And I did it. And all of a sudden, all the things that I wanted to make come to fruition started coming to fruition.
Can you give,
everyone that does that.
Can you give the listeners a little bit of info about what 75 Hard is, just so everybody knows?
Yes. Okay. So 75 Hard is a 75-day challenge where you commit to working out twice a day for 45 minutes, 1 indoor workout, 1 outdoor workout, rain or shine. 3 or 4 gallons a day of water?
3, I believe. Yeah.
I think it's 3 gallons a day of water, 10 pages a day of self-development books.
Wow.
What else is it?
You stick to a meal plan of your choice, like a diet of your choice.
Exactly.
No cheat days, no alcohol at all through the entire time.
Wow.
And then a progress photo every single day as well.
A progress photo every day, yeah. So doing that, I did it, and I actually had a group of I think 9 people ended up doing the whole thing, but initially 30 people tapped in and said they were going to do it. Obviously, people kind of fell off and whatever.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, and all 9 people that did it, I know at least 3 of them that I'm talking to every day still that are doing huge things.
Yeah.
It really locked them into their discipline and their goals, and they're crushing it. So,
and everybody thinks it's a fitness challenge, and it's really not.
No.
It's a mindset challenge.
Right. It's like a self-improvement challenge.
It's a mental muscle challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. First of all, congratulations. That's very serious to both of you guys.
Yeah.
That's a very serious thing to accomplish. You know what I mean? So pat on the back for sure.
Yeah. So Santana, you went into 75 Hard. You said this is your year where you've decided to share. So I want to open this up. I know some of your story, probably not even a little sliver of it, to be honest, but I know some of it. Can you just share with us and share with the audience your story?
Yeah, totally. So this is an episode about grief. So I experienced tremendous loss, and I'll rewind a little bit back to 2018, 2019. I was best friends with someone. His name was Shaheen, and he is an amazing person. I don't know if you ever met him, Adam. I think he came by the club a few times when we were working there. He brought me a birthday cake one night on my birthday. He was the most solid human I've ever met. Just positive, the charisma, just this man bled positivity and discipline. He had multiple businesses in the city. He was well known in his community. And he became a good friend of mine. We dated briefly, and then we decided to crush our goals and just remain platonic and really good friends for the course of 3 or 4 years. And then, like Adam said, I moved to California to pursue a job that I got offered. And he stayed in Vancouver. He had a couple businesses here. And we always kind of had this plan, let's go after all our goals. And then we're going to meet and end up getting married and having a family and having kids. but we had so many individual goals that we wanted to accomplish before we embarked on like that chapter. So we both just supported each other's dreams. And then when the pandemic hit, I was out in California. I'd only been there for like 2 months, so I didn't barely have my feet wet. The company that hired me went under because they were a startup for a CBD business out there. So I had no job. I was like, what the hell am I going to do out here? Like, so I hit up Shaw and I was like, yo, this COVID thing has put everything at pause. I'm going to come back to Vancouver. Do you mind if I crash with you for just a few weeks until COVID like goes away? Like at that point, like we were like, oh, this is like got to go away at some point. It can't last too long. So he was like, of course, like say less. So I came back to Van. I moved into his apartment like with a suitcase and I was like, all right, whatever. He was starting a business in Vancouver at the time called Dankmart, which is like this boutique snack store where they had a dispensary and then they opened up a snack store beside. And the snack store was like,
right? What a brilliant market. Like, I'm going to have two businesses just kill it.
I just booked my flight. Yeah.
And it was like the first of its kind because they got snacks that we don't have access to in Canada.
Yeah.
So they got like American snacks, European snacks, Japanese stuff. So it was like this very bougie snack store right beside the dispensary. And during the pandemic, everything had to go on lockdown except for essential businesses. So Dankmart was considered essential because it was a grocery store. So it was like the only thing for people to do in Vancouver at this time because there was no clubs, no restaurants, no nothing. So they would just like come to Dankmart, get their snacks. It was really cute. And it was just like something that had never happened before, at least in Vancouver. It was very one of its kind. So I helped him open the store and I was working there and COVID was just, you know, happening. Things weren't ending. It was getting crazier and crazier. So we were working together. And then at some point of me staying with him, we became romantic. Like our platonic relationship, like kind of shifted. And I had my birthday, it was May. And like, we just had such a good time. And I started thinking like, yo, like the world is locked down and like this person is who I want to be spending my lockdown with. So like, what else really matters? Like something in me shifted, like all these big dreams and goals I had for myself to like move to California and like create my personal brand there and do all these things kind of like didn't become so relevant. Like I was like, man, I feel like this simple life with my best friend is actually what I should be focusing on. So our relationship started during that time. And so I'm helping him with his business and fast forward, it's like at this point it's June, summer's coming. I don't have any summer clothes because I only came there with a suitcase in March. I'm like, oh no, I think I need to fly back to LA and like get some more stuff to bring back here for the summer. And this is July. And his 30th birthday was July 5th. So we spent it with two of our other best friends. We rented a cabin and we just like smoked a lot of weed, had snacks, you know, we were just vibing in this cabin. And something happened on this trip. Like I remember like just knowing like, okay, I'm going to marry this person. We're going to have a family. We're going to have a life together. I really don't care about anything I used to care about. Like things shifted. And then it was actually a week later, he was working at Dankmart. I was there until 10 p.m. He was like, you head out. I'm going to stock the shelves and then I'll be home. So I went back to our apartment and then I get a phone call from someone saying there's been a shooting at the shop. Oh. So I'm like, what? So I was with my best friend at the time, my homegirl. She was with me at his apartment and we were just like snacking, waiting for him to get off. So immediately, obviously, we run to the car, we race down there. And in my mind, I'm thinking like maybe someone tried to rob the shop, like, and they like shot it up. I didn't think for a second that it would be like his life was gone. I just thought like he might have like taken a bullet in the arm. He might be in the hospital. Nobody's trying to kill him. Like there's no way that someone has him marked like that. Like, so I'm like, okay, I get to the shop. It's roped off. Nobody can access within like a block either way. There's police everywhere, ambulances. And I'm trying to get info. Like, I'm like, where is he? I'm his girl. I live with him. I have the keys to the shop too. Like I need to know where's he at. And they're like, we can't give you any info right now. So then I was like, okay, they're not going to let me in the shop. So we went to the hospital. And I remember I pulled up to the hospital and I was like, are there any gunshot victims in the hospital right now? And they were like, no. So then I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so shit. I called the other hospitals and no one has any gunshot victims. So I'm like, okay. So then I go back to the shop and the ambulance is still parked out back. And this has been like at least an hour since I got the call. So at this point, I'm still not thinking like he's dead. Like, I'm thinking maybe they're working on him. Like the paramedics are working on him. Like, like, and I'm calling the 2 other employees that were there that night and they're not picking up. And then finally, one of the girls calls me back and I'm standing like pacing around the sidewalk a block away, trying to figure out what's going on. And she was like, Santana, like, I was like, where's Shaw? Like, what's going on? Why no one's picking up? No one's telling me. And she's like, I don't even want to be the one to tell you. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, girl, he didn't make it. And I just remember like in that moment, like, it's crazy. I don't know if either of you have lost someone really close to you, like in a snap of a moment. Like, but it's like every memory I had with him spun around for like 10 seconds. Right. Like, I saw our whole life like flash before my eyes. And I just like sat on the sidewalk and I was just like in disbelief. Like, I was like, what? Like, someone else has to tell me. Like, I don't even know. Is she wrong? Like, you kind of question.
It's hard to believe. Especially like, when you haven't dealt with it before. Totally. You know what I mean?
Like,
unfortunately, if you deal with those situations, then you know what I mean. But for somebody, it's the first time. It's like world shattering. Like you said, you see all these things. Yeah.
You see like your whole the whole relationship flash before your eyes, all the good memories, like you like it's playing before you. And I just remember sitting there and being like, what? Like, this can't be true. Like, and then obviously like your body goes into shock. Your system is in this like state of fight or flight. And I just like, I think for me it was flight. Like, I was like, this, I don't know, I disassociated and we went to the police station. And then of course the police are kind of like, we need to talk to all of you. We need to get as much info as we can. And you're like, what? Like,
it's unreal.
He's got to be at a different. I just remember thinking like he's got to be someone got it wrong.
Right.
Like, right. Like, and then I went back to his apartment and I just like was in there by myself and I'm like, is he gonna walk? Like, he might walk in the door. Like, this can't be true, right? And then the next morning, I remember like waking up and for a split second, like, you think this isn't real. Like, this might have been a dream, and then you're like, no, this is fucking real. Holy fuck.
Right.
So.
Wow.
The 2 weeks, I mean, that alone was fucking crazy. But the 2 weeks to follow, like, you know, we had a celebration of life. Like, we held a candlelight vigil in a park, and a lot of people came through, and there were pictures, and we did speeches about him, and then we did a funeral, and because it was COVID, there were only 50 people allowed at a funeral at a time. So then I had to coordinate like with all the people that wanted to come. We had to create time slots. So like the first time slot was for like high school friends. Second was for extended friends and family, and then the third was for like his closest friends. And
the outpouring of that too from like a third party of myself and Eliza, obviously we heard about it and saw what was going on from a distance, but the outpouring seemed enormous. Like, even I told a few people that I'm close with that I was having to come on our podcast here, and shared a little bit, and they're like, oh yeah, I knew about that. It shook a lot of people.
Oh my God, the whole community was broken.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing, like, there's not a lot of that happening in Vancouver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you hear about like shootings when it's to do with like the bikers or like, you know, the gang crime, but it's really minimal. Like, there's not really like storefront shootings like in the back of an alley, like outside of a business. Like,
how did you the next couple of days after it happened, how did you sort of reflect? How did you feel? Like, what were like the process? Did you go through obviously you went through the I don't believe it stage.
Yeah.
Right. And then
That's
did you
the
go
first
through,
thing.
right. Did you go through like the anger, then the sadness and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I've lost a few people, unfortunately, as well. So I've
So for
gone through it
me,
as well.
we had like Dankmart was open since April. So it was like a few months of all this excitement and we had employees, right? There was probably like 10 or 15 employees that had all like, become really close with him and with myself, and we were like a family. And then he had the dispensary next door, and there was like 10 employees there. So there was like 20 of us that were like so close.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just linking up every night, and like, people were drinking, smoking, and telling stories about him, and just like grieving and crying together. And I felt like I had to be like big mama for everyone.
Yeah.
Like because we also had this candlelight thing like a week later, and then the funeral 2 weeks later. So for those like 3 weeks, I felt like I had to just hold it together. Like,
right. You were the caregiver of everybody.
Like I'm like, I gotta make sure his funeral is good, and like he gets that, like, he gets to rest knowing that like people showed up, and I want to make sure I do a good speech, and like people deliver the speeches they want to deliver, and like his family is like getting communication from us, and like so I just like felt like I needed to just hold that shit together. I didn't crack. You have a question?
Do you feel like that sort of? Do you feel like taking on all those roles sort of? Staying busy definitely helps you when you're going through a situation and everything like that. Do you think that helped you sort of deal with the process of grief by staying busy and making sure that everything was in order for and also I'm sure it felt good to make sure that he was going out the right way.
Totally, yeah. Like I felt like I had an obligation.
Right,
like
right.
I was like, this man, like and prior to even knowing him, like I went through like a really traumatic situation with an ex-partner, and like a breakup and all sorts of stuff, and he kind of like made me see my value and my worth as a woman. And so I was like, I owe this man. Like he helped me get out of the mud where I was.
That's
like,
beautiful.
So many ways. So I'm like, this man deserves his recognition right now, and like I'm making sure that he's gonna get that. And there was also a gentleman that was, I don't even, he's a boy. He was a boy. He was 20 years old, who was working in the shop. There were 2 other people there, along with this 20-year-old boy, and the 2 other people ran when they heard gunshots. Yeah. He stayed, and he was there beside Shaw while he died. Like he was like screaming for help, and like he didn't leave. So he saw some fucked up shit, and he was going through it for those 2 weeks. So I was just like holding him and like, thanking him, and like, and I was just like, man, like you did something more than anyone else. Like you were there, and you were like trying to save his life. Like,
so you went through like obviously one of the most shocking, devastating situations that a person can go through, for right? Sure. Like I don't think that anything can really prepare you for something like that. Talk to me about the roller coaster, because not very long after, something wildly special takes place, right. And the shift of emotions and the feelings that are going on.
Yeah. So right when he died, I immediately like prayed that I could be pregnant.
Oh, like, wow.
Yeah, like I was like, please, but also didn't think for a chance I could be. Like I've never been pregnant before. Like, so I was like, I don't think I'm pregnant, but I just prayed that I could be. Like, I was like, God, please give me another piece of him. Like, but it was kind of like this delusional prayer, right. Like, I'm like, you're just praying for whatever, when someone's sick or hurting and they could die, or when they die. Like, you're praying for any piece of them you can get, right? So I was praying that I could be pregnant, but at the same time, just kind of thought like, that's a pipe dream. Like, you know what I mean?
I was going back and forth about whether or not to ask if that was the father of your child that we were speaking of earlier. That's right. Wow. That gave me goosebumps. Right. That's a beautiful, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, we weren't trying to have kids. Like
Right.
I told you both, we were both like, let's get our shit, like, let's cross off all these things. And like, I have conversations with him where he's like, when you're 33, we're starting a family, like boom, boom. At this time I was 29. So we had all these, we weren't trying to have kids. And so then after the funeral, a lot of shit went down with his family and the house. And, people
People
kind
get
of go,
nasty.
people go crazy
People
when
get
people
nasty
die,
when
man.
money,
Yeah,
property, people get
it
nasty.
it was a lot. So after the funeral, I had to find a new place. So I still have my place in LA, but there was no way I was gonna go back when like our family, needed to be together for
Right.
this. So I was like, okay, so I found a place that did like temporary furnished living, and I moved in there. And I kind of felt like a little bit weird. Like my body was feeling weird, and like I felt really warm, like in a way that I couldn't describe. And I remember telling my best friend, like, I'm like, I've never felt like this before. Like my internal temperature feels warm. And
Right.
she's like, girl, you are fucking grieving.
Right.
Like, you don't even know what's going on in your body. And I'm like, no, I think I could be pregnant. And she's like, there's no way you're pregnant. You're not pregnant. And I'm like, okay, I don't know. But it was too early for me to even test
Right.
for it. So
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I got to just wait. And so I remember when like the day that it would have been like, okay, today's like the day I could test. Like I was like a day late, and I'm like, okay, I could test today if I wanted to. And so I was out at at Shaw's best friend's place. We were having dinner, and there was a bunch of us there, and like all I could think about was like, when I leave here, I gotta go and like hit a drugstore, get a test, and I gotta go do it. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
stop thinking about it. And so I pick up a test, I go to my little hotel thing, and I take this test, and that shit's positive. And I remember like I sat on the ground and I burst out laughing. Like I was looking at heaven, and I was like, how did you do this? Like I was like, how is this
Yeah.
real? Like I was like, how? Oh my God. Like, and I was ecstatic. I was like hysterically laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what you would do. Like you would make this happen.
Right.
Right.
Right. God works in
Like
crazy,
I
funny,
was like,
mysterious ways.
like
Yeah.
I'm like, this cannot be real right now. Like what? And so then I take the second test. We just got to cross
Of
off
course.
all,
Of course.
and of course it's positive. And so I called Shaw's best friend. I was like, yo, where are you? You need to take a step outside right now. Wherever the fuck you are, take a step outside. So I told him, and he was like, I mean, at the time, he was like drinking a lot. He was popping perks, like,
He was
and
grieving
so,
in his
oh
way.
yeah. And like, we've talked about this, like, to this day. He's like, that moment, that phone call, like, changed my life because he realized, like, he needed to step up,
Wow.
And
Wow.
So how old's your daughter now?
she's 4.5.
4.5. So you've now been doing the single mom thing 4.5 years. There's probably a lot of people who are listening in who, while their stories might not be identical because it's a pretty unique story,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
the emotional roller coaster, whether it's going through grief or being a single mom. Talk
my
to me
God,
about
yeah.
the process, because your life has changed significantly, like in a lot of ways, like even just what you do and who you are has changed. So, maybe share a little bit about how has your life changed, and what would you tell someone who's going through these type of experiences that, you've been able to come out on the other side. Maybe they're struggling to feel like they can.
First of all, I think that grief is loaded in so many different areas of our life. Like, it's not just when someone dies. Like, I grieved my old self when I was pregnant. Like, I was
Absolutely.
like, that me is no longer, and I have to accept that. Like, I can't be that person if I want to be a good mother. I can't even be that person if I want to be a mother, period. It
Right.
won't work. I'm a single mother now. So I went through grief of self. You grieve old friendships because you know that they're no longer aligned. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
And as much as you want to take them with you, you just can't, and you got to accept that. So you grieve partners when you break up with them, even if they were terrible to you, like you grieve that person.
Right.
So I think that just finding you have to be self-aware. Like that's important. And just understanding what affects you in a negative way and what affects you in a positive way. It's as simple as that. Like what made me feel like shit when I was grieving? What made me feel like that poor me voice got louder? And for me, it's like, first of all, it's like substance. Like I don't drink. I haven't had a sip of alcohol in over a year.
Good for you.
Because it just doesn't bring out that version of me that I want to be. And it allows that voice in my head, like, feel sorry for yourself. Like, how could this happen? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that voice. I'm not going to feed that voice.
Right.
Being around certain people that don't see me and don't respect me allows that voice to get louder too. So I can't be around certain people. And it's nothing personal. This is about me.
Yep. Right. It's about your growth. And hats off to you for realizing, taking the steps and doing what you have to do to better yourself and your daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you have somebody that relies on you, and obviously you're a very strong, independent woman, and you're doing a great job from everything that I've heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great example, great mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got, and like I feel like the advice I have for people is just like, you really got to figure out who you are, and like what are you doing these, like, for example, I used to smoke a lot of weed. I used to drink a lot, and like I was doing it to escape what I really needed to face. Some people might be doing it because they love it, and to each their own. But like, you just got to know, is this actually something that's serving me, or am I doing this to hide from something I need to face?
Right.
And the more you do shit that's hiding from what you're battling, the longer it's going to take to heal. Like,
right. And it doesn't go away. It's just it just puts smoke up for the problem.
Yeah, it's delayed.
The problem's still there. You just can't see it. And then when you know what I mean? Yeah. It's inevitable, right?
Yeah. So I think, like, you gotta find your people. You gotta find your tribe. You gotta acknowledge who you are inside, so that you can find the right people that see you, that hear you, that respect you, and that understand you, and that can meet you where you want to be met. And that's something I learned a lot too, going through this. Like, not everyone has that capacity to hold space for me, even if they want to. They just might not have the capacity. And so that's what I mean when I say it's not personal. Certain rooms I can't be in anymore. And it's not because I don't think that you're on my level. It's nothing to do with that. It's just that, like, I feel differently now, and I want to be around people that understand that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I
love
that.
I
feel like,
and you shouldn't have to explain yourself to anybody. You know what I mean? It's just, it's the best for you and your daughter, period.
Yeah.
And if people get it, they get it. And if they don't, sorry,
Exactly. And so I think being self-aware, finding what works for you. Like for me, like, I love going to the gym. I love fitness. I like eating good foods. I also, like eating chocolate sometimes, but I got to be mindful. Like, okay, I'm going to have this chocolate. I'm probably going to feel my vibration lower a bit tomorrow. I might not be as motivated, but I still got to get out of bed. I still got to do the other things to compensate for this little lack that I had today.
So
for me,
for me, it's the gym. How do you, so you just mentioned there's something like, you got to get up in the morning and you got to do that. So a lot of people, and let's be real, like, when people deal with difficult scenarios, whether that's through loss, being a single mom, doing that, some people rise to the occasion and others crumble under the pressure and under the stress. And I'm sure not every single day has been roses and rainbows and butterflies for you. Well, maybe butterflies, but you know what I mean? Like, how do you get yourself out of those dark funk days? Because let's be real, Santana, as much as you fire on all cylinders, you're going to go through those difficult times. So everybody does, right? But the difference is some people can push through it and some people seem to struggle with that. How do you push through when you're not feeling it?
Well, your mind is a muscle. So you got to learn, you got to work it. Yeah. And, just like with the first day you go to the gym, like those bicep curls or that leg press is not going to be easy, but the more you control yourself and do it, the easier it gets. So like the mind,
we literally,
you're speaking our language.
You're literally, you're preaching to the choir.
The mind can say to you like, oh, oh, fucking poor me. Like, I don't want to get up today. But it's like, no, I'm not going to let that voice talk for too long. Like, it can start, but I'm not going to engage. Like,
Right.
but that takes practice.
Yes.
So if you fold to that voice every single time, best believe you're never going to rise to the occasion.
Right.
You have to just one day tell that voice, okay, no, I hear you, but I'm going to do this still. Like,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, thank God that I experienced a lot of hardships before Shaw died, because I already knew that, like, I know what I need to do to stay on track.
Yeah.
And like, I know what I need to do to get out of a funk. Like, I need to go to the gym. I need to, you know, read a certain book, like whatever it may be. I already knew that because I had been through a lot of shit. So what got me out of, you know, my previous hardships was just like finding that discipline to keep going to the gym, to feel good about myself, to know, like, the gym for me is like how I know, like to me it just represents strength, not just physically. Like, when I'm going to the gym and I'm like dedicating that time to myself, I'm respecting my body.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I then know, like, try me, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like life can try me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm strong enough to just face it. So, and I don't like telling everyone that it's got to be the gym, because like maybe for some people it's a hike, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Whatever
Right.
it is to you.
Something
I don't want,
healthy
you don't got
that
to
you
go like
dedicate to
bang out
yourself.
iron.
You're right.
Like, for me, I love the gym and I like martial arts, and I like boxing and I like that. But like, some people might like, you know, dancing or whatever. And I think just find what makes you feel that fire inside of you. You know what I mean? That makes you proud of yourself. Because if you're not proud of yourself, like, when life faces you with adversity, like, you're gonna fold.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. So as a strong, independent single mother, what message would you like to give to the other strong, independent single mothers that are doing their thing out there, that may be having a bad day when they see this, or maybe
Yeah.
going through a little something? What would you say to them to pick them up? What would you
Yeah, I mean, I had this conversation with someone the other day. I just think it's super important to know, like, what version of yourself you want to give your child. Like, I just, and you know, like, we all have our childhood traumas and the versions of our parents that we didn't really love, and then the versions of them that we did love. And I'm just like, you know, who do I want to be for her?
That's deep.
And like, you know, who do you want to be for your kid? Like, do you want to be, uh, you know, sad all the time or feeling sorry for yourself? Do you want to be, you know, not showing up to their dance performances
Right.
or their soccer game? You know, like, what version of yourself do you want to be for them?
I
And
love that.
Yeah.
you know,
I love that.
I've shifted my identity because of that. Like, I'm like, I don't, like, I want to be, I don't want her to look at me and be like, why does my mom care, like, about what she looks like all the time, or like
Right.
how, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that shit doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
I want her to just know that, like, I want to provide a safe space for her. I want to show up for her. I want to be like this cool. I'm a kid with you. Like, we can do kid shit together.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like you
But I
guys
al-
can probably relate a lot to that as
Yeah,
well with your experience with your kids.
absolutely. My kids are like I said, you know, in the beginning, my kids are my
Yeah.
everything. You know what I mean? And so, like, and I couldn't agree with you more. You do. Everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. You know what I mean? Everybody has gone through
Yeah.
stuff. Everybody has gone through good things, bad things, blah blah blah. But once you realize that you are going to become an adult, I was sort of speaking on it yesterday. You have something outside of you that depends on you. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I will never
Yeah.
let my son down. I'll never let my daughter down. You know what I mean? And you know, things happen. You know what I mean? Things happen. It's not like, but I know in my heart I will always give my 250% to my kids
Yeah.
every day, any day, without, you know what I mean? That's not even a question, you know? So I love the fact, but I also love the fact that you said, you know, that people have a past, but you have to choose who you want to be for your
Yeah.
kids and then act on that. You can't just be like, oh, I want to be a good parent, but then you don't show up to things. You know what I mean?
Right.
You decide who you are and then you follow through in those steps, and I commend you for that. I commend you for that.
Yeah, Santana, you touching on that a little bit. You recently shared a story. I think maybe a reel or a story, just about some of the changes that you've made in your life, and even how, like, you know, even sort of how you were talking about before, building your brand, and how you've sort of shifted your brand from what it was to what it is now, and the response that you're receiving from that. Can you talk a little bit about like what led you to make those changes? I'm sure it wasn't an easy change and there was some risk involved, but like talk to me about the changes you've made since, you know, becoming a mom and the path that you're on now.
Yeah, I mean, fitness was a huge thing for me, and I used to share a lot of fitness content, and I was like really hoping I could get like fitness brand collaborations, and that's kind of the direction I was going. And then when obviously this dramatic, huge event happened in my life, I was like, okay, I really didn't want it to be my identity in the beginning. I was really scared to attach like my brand with this story, and after a lot of like reflecting, I realized it was really just like I thought it would deter a man, honestly. Like I thought it would deter a partner from me, and I was like,
what,
this idea,
the grief or the
like
story?
just like this being my story, and so I didn't want to talk about it because I was like, I don't want that to intimidate someone from wanting to be involved in my life one day. Like I was really, so I was like, let me just continue on this fitness thing and like keep sharing the fitness videos, and like even though they weren't like, there was this burning fire inside of me to share my story, but I was scared to do it because of that. Like I was like,
which is understandable.
I was like fixated on this, like, okay, well, I still want to have like a partner and a life, and I want my kid to maybe have a father figure, and I don't want to deter them, and I didn't want it to be my identity. But then I was like, let me do 75 hard, because I feel like I want to get comfortable talking about this. Like I had dated a few times, like twice, really briefly, and both times I realized that, like, exactly what I just said, I was dating for the reason of like picture perfect. Like I wanted this idea of like a mom, I guess a stepdad, and maybe another kid down the road. I was fixated on this idea, and the people that I had entertained weren't even really like compatible to me.
Right.
Like they were just like a Band-Aid or like a filler. And so then I was like, I don't even really want to date. That's not even what I'm trying. Like that's not. I'm trying to escape my reality by dating, I think. So
you said something good yesterday that I feel like where you said, you know, you do what you love, and then the person that yours for is will come to you at the right time. Right. You know what I mean? So I think that it would work out even. I think it's going to work out even better for you when you're just focusing on yourself, focusing on your health, focusing on your daughter, doing the right thing, putting the right energy out. And then that energy will be picked up by somebody else who's on that same wave page. That'll be like, oh, I could see me with her and having another friend. And you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Yeah. So like you said, the better you are as a person, as a mother, as a human, will bring the right person.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
This is my life.
Yeah.
This is my identity. Like I had a tremendous traumatic event occur in my life, and I lost someone that I will honor for the rest of my life. Yeah. Take it or leave it. I'm gonna celebrate his birthday. I'm gonna have his photos. You know what I mean?
And it made you stronger. And it made you stronger.
This is who I am, and it's because of that. And so leaning into that ever since last October, I became comfortable sharing about it on social media. I became comfortable talking on camera. I used to be scared to like talk on social media without a filter. And I was like, I don't want, like, I'd be insecure about like things like nitpicking, and like, I don't want people to see this side of me. Like, and then I did 75 hard. I completely released that fear. Like I have no self-doubt. I'm talking on camera. I'm not using filters. I'm just being real. Yeah. And my followers have climbed. Like I've got
people can appreciate it, the real.
Yeah, people are messaging me, and my following used to be like, my demographic was like 90% men and 10% women, which is cool if I want to do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, I could get a bag, but that's not really where I'm trying to get it.
Right.
So what am I going to do with 90% men? Like I'm not going to sell you fucking my skincare that I like. I'm not like, I'm not gonna get no brand deal for Saks boxers.
Right.
Like no one's like, what's that gonna do for me?
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to talk about my real ass life, which is motherhood, and it's grieving, and it's growing through that, and it's the nitty gritty. It's all of it. And all of a sudden, my followers now, I got like 62% women, and whatever 40 something percent.
What a jump! What a twist!
Yeah.
It literally, I got like I had like 15,000 followers, and in the past like 4 months, I got 28,000 now, and all of it is women.
Right.
Like, I must have gained my whole following count from previous, all in women.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who are afraid to like take that jump and change their brand? Maybe they were going one way and you're like, that's not my vibe, but I'm getting some success, but what would you say about someone who's afraid to take that jump into doing what they know they're supposed to be doing?
I feel like where you feel that fear, you have to lean into it.
That's good.
You have to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
we were saying the other day that when you are comfortable, when you're in your comfort zone, you're not growing. You know what I mean? You're not growing. When everything is just regular, everything is easy, and that's just and that's the place where a lot of people like to be because it's normal. You know what I mean? But stepping out of your comfort zone and that's when you really see the growth. That's when you really see the
Yeah.
And you have like, I mean, I always had like a voice or a calling like telling me like, okay, I'm, and then I'd be like, well, I'll do it like when I'm comfortable. Like I'll get there. I'll get there. And I feel like those voices, that burning fire inside of you, like God is trying to speak to you. Like he's not going to just pull up and like say it to you.
Right.
He can't just say like, you got to do this. But like when you have that feeling, like that's God speaking to you. And the same goes to when it's a feeling of like a negative feeling, when it's like you're in an environment and a person is bringing out a negative emotion in you. God's trying to speak to you. You got to create a boundary somewhere. You got to shift. You got to pivot.
Yeah.
But he can't come and say like this person ain't serving you.
Yeah.
Right.
He can make you feel it though.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think like leaning into those feelings when it's like, I'm scared to like make that post, or I'm scared it's going to be like perceived. Just do it.
Yeah. And you'll still get haters. You're still going to have them.
Yeah, like,
Everybody.
man, my haters are crazy. I don't know if you see that post.
That just means you're doing something right. That just means you're doing something right.
Exactly.
When you're not doing it, when you have nothing going on and you're not making progress, nobody has anything to say. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, that's cool. They're in the same spot. But as soon as you start making strides and doing stuff, so that means you're on the right path. So continue what you're doing.
If you don't have a hater, you're not doing something right.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen.
So let's. I've really loved this conversation, but let's let people know, what is Santana up to now? Like, what are you doing now, and where people can like tap in and find you?
Yep.
Yeah. My Instagram handle is @SantanaTown. I'm just like sharing my story, man. I started a podcast with my late partner's best friend, Shaw's best friend and business partner. So we both are talking about, just navigating grief without your best friend, without, like, I'm navigating motherhood without my child's father. He's building a business without his business partner. And like, just things shifted so drastically for us. And we're just talking about the waves and the ups and downs, and just how to lock in, and like how to get back on track when life takes you a little bit off track. And so we have a podcast called The Healing Continues, and we're banking episodes kind of the same way you guys are. We got to get a bunch in the bank before we start releasing them. We're going to chop it up and share some reels in the next few weeks. And I'm also I've got a couple brand deals that I'm so excited about. Cool. And
can you tell us about them? Or not yet.
Not yet. If you can't, that's okay. We could.
It's nothing too crazy, but it's like I share so much about just like health and wellness, and like I haven't even really been trying. Like I work also full time for my dad, and he does vehicle import, vehicle export. So I help him with that, and then I shoot when I can, and I put together content when I can, and then I'm a mother.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't forget. Yeah, so you busy.
I have not had like the real time to lock in on the personal brand game to get deals that I'm trying to get, but I have things have landed in my lap just from, like I said, being authentic and sharing. And I'm just like, man, post that content and like be yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, don't try and be someone that you think that they want to see.
Yeah.
Don't try and do what you think they want to see you do. Like, just do what feels right. And I promise it might take a little bit more time, but like that, it's going to feel so right when it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, man.
That's phenomenal, Santana.
Yeah, Santana, you're amazing. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your story. Yeah, you're an amazing mother, amazing woman.
Yeah,
it's been great to have you on the podcast. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, and bring it back on when you get as the healing continues.
Yes,
we'd love to have you back
in.
on and check in and see how that's going and just keep this dialogue going. I know that our listeners are going to really resonate with you and your story, and really appreciate you giving us some time today on Better Than Yesterday.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me on. And I hope that I can have you guys on ours. We don't have guests on ours yet, but I want to lean into that and just have these big conversations about growth and just about like the ups and downs.
You got the number. Make the call. We'll be there.
100%. Love it.
We got it. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Much love, guys.
Appreciate you.
Much
Thank
love.
you so much. Have a great day. Adam Churchman, Oliver Saunders, Better Than Yesterday. Thank you so much, Santana. We appreciate you.
Take care.
Thank you. Peace.